Over the last year, America was given proof of what it already suspected. We're all being spied on. But long before Edward Snowden introduced the world to PRISM, spies like Magnum P.I., Dick Tracy, and even Veronica Mars were showing us just how easy it is to keep tabs on unsuspecting targets. And now, with all the new technology at our disposal, being a spy or investigator should be easier than ever.
Plus, I have this question I want answered. Sam Sheffer, my friend, and the Verge's social media manager, has this insanely huge collection of sweet Air Jordans, including some no one can find anywhere. How's he getting his hands on the kicks no one else can seem to find? I assume it has to do with shady deals in back alleys and probably some illicit card game. I could just ask him, but what's the fun in that? First, I need to learn how to do this stuff, how to be David Pierce PI. This is Jimmy Meses, a private investigator for over 30 years. He's worked for the White House, Scotland Yard, and even for boxing promoter Don King. Jimmy's also the owner of PIgear.com, an online store that sells everything from night vision goggles to nanny cams, and he's also the head of PI Magazine, the biggest trade publication for investigators around the world.
So how did you start doing this?
I actually became a private investigator back in 1979. And technology really didn't exist back then.
Mm-hmm. So how has it changed over the last, the few decades you've been doing it?
Well, in the late 70s, video cassette tapes had just been invented. And even then, a setup like that was thousands of dollars.
And probably enormous.
It was, the technology back then was super big and just evolving. Now the technology has come into nano size.
Yeah.
Where, I can put a video camera anywhere on my body. I could actually be videotaping you right now. You would have
I'm assuming
idea.
That you are from, 30 or 40 different places.
No, just 20.
Just 20 is good.
All right, so we're gonna need some tools, and Jimmy has plenty of them. Most of them are shockingly simple and not even that expensive.
So this is the base of a button cam.
So I could basically replace one of the buttons on my shirt with this thing. What kind of video does this record?
That's going to record 550 lines of resolution, color during the day, automatically switches to black and white in low light situation. In video or covert video, normally it's two different pieces. The camera, and you have to plug it into a DVR. This is a high definition recorder, and this will take up to a 32 gigabyte SD card. Now you can plug about 10 different cameras into this device. The other device that we had was the video glasses. This would run down your back. Nobody would know that you have it on.
Where is the camera?
The camera is actually on the stem on one side, and the microphone is on the stem of the other side. Glasses are a big thing. Now, the difference between the ones you originally wore and these is that this is self-contained. So the DVR, the camera, everything is inside those glasses. And again, we always recommend that if you're going to wear glasses like that, you wear a hat because it just helps break up the face as compared to just straight out.
And there's a camera here and a microphone here.
Well, actually, everything is right in the center. It's on the bridge of your nose. Everybody has a keychain for their car, a remote control. They can take pictures, they can take video, and they can also record audio. And this is like a little piggyback to the iPhone. You put your iPhone in here, and what ends up happening is there's a camera on the base. Now you're videotaping this way as compared to bringing the phone up where people know that you're taking video.
And will this also charge my phone's battery?
No.
It's all really simple, actually. The trick is making it so no one ever notices. And honestly, that's mostly still on me. The more I blend in and don't freak out and seem shady, the less Sam or anyone will think I'm up to something and start looking a little closer. So now that I've got my gear, I'm ready to investigate.
Hello. Hi. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I need to buy Air Jordans, like good ones.
How do you need Air Jordans?
I need to buy a friend a present, basically.
How much are you willing to spend? What's your budget? $450. I wear them every day.
I need you to have like a Jordans guy for me.
I can't.
I was hoping you were gonna be like, there's this dude I know.
The bottom of the shoe is icy.
Oh, okay.
I'm putting you so deep in this game right now. Yeah. So sneaker news, all the sneakerheads were going crazy, but all these are hype shoes.
Okay.
You can maybe score a pair of these from Nike.com. The second you get them, they're double in value automatically.
Right.
Because bots have taken over the shoe buying game. People have written scripts.
Wow.
I don't know how to do that. I used to know someone at Nike, deep with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know his email anymore or whatever, but if you have contacts at Nike, they would probably tell you when this is going to happen.
All right, thanks, dude.
You're welcome.
Okay, so nothing groundbreaking, but I know he's holding something back. I want to take this even farther. I want to know where Sam lives, what he does at night, who he hangs out with. We're talking about the works.
I want to do as much of this as I can without having to get a license.
Okay.
What can I do just as a regular person? Like how far down this road can I go before I run into issues?
Well, you're probably going to go down a really short road because the moment you start doing that, you're technically stalking. And now that's a criminal offense. So there's a fine line between what's legal and what's not legal.
So I can take a picture of him, but I can't put a GPS tracker on
Anything
his
that
car.
your target will do in public is fair game. But once they start going into private areas in their home or in a secluded area or a gated community, you're not allowed in there, you get caught in there, you're trespassing.
Let's say I was a licensed PI. How could I track Sam to his secret sneaker source without even being there?
That device will give you 30 hours of tracking of motion, and then you're able to monitor that live on your smartphone or online.
Is there like a PI app store that nobody knows about that you guys have all, you're
Well, there's a
downloading
lot
cool
of
apps
little
to find
secret
stuff?
apps,
Yeah.
but I'd tell you them, but
I want to know.
I'd have to.
You'd have to kill me, wouldn't you?
No, I'll just make you disappear. PIs normally may need more than 30 hours of tracking. So what they'll do is they will put the tracker into a waterproof magnetic case, and you just attach this to the underside of a vehicle.
Wow.
And now that's 100 hours of motion.
Unfortunately, Sam doesn't drive a car and I don't have a PI license. But none of that can stop me from just following him to his favorite bar and asking him lots of questions. I need to know his source.
I can't believe this is happening right now. TLDR, Nike just restocked on Jordans.
Wait, I swore you had like a hookup with some dude. No?
The hype is so real with shoes right now. It's unbelievable.
Sam, here's my real question.
Yeah.
Is how do we turn this into us getting rich? I feel like we're like one small step away from just being gods of shoes.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
Now, see, Sam, that's the difference between you and me.
It's impossible.
You're wrong and I'm not.
So it turns out being a PI is not as sexy as Tom Selleck made it out to be, and also way more difficult than I imagined. Just because I have all this gear doesn't mean I'm suddenly a veteran investigator. That's why, in the end, I had to come clean.
Wow. What is happening right now? When was that filmed? Ow, wow. Wow, this is amazing.
So does it creep you out that we were able to do this to you for like a week?
Yes and no. Yes, because it's like weird not knowing that this was happening, but it's not surprising. When you have no idea, you obviously feel like you're vulnerable. Yeah. I did notice your iPhone case was pretty strange yesterday. I did notice that. Yeah, I was like, oh, I didn't know you got a jank Amazon, battery pack. Man, those shots are like so good too, and like I had no idea. And also now the sneaker hype game is semi-exposed, but it's also still impossible to get those shoes. So, yeah.
We still need to start our business.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
Let's get rich off shoes. It's perfect.
So by now you might be wondering, how can I avoid being Sam? Well, I can't help you there, but there are definitely some ways you can detect surveillance.
I would think you would be more qualified than anybody to like help people avoid surveillance. Also, is that part of what you do?
Often we get called in where people think they're being watched, and they want us to watch them to see if anybody's watching them.
But what can I do myself?
These are wireless camera detectors.
Oh wow.
And if there was a camera transmitting in the area, we would see the picture of what's being transmitted. This particular device has these LEDs right here, and I will find the hidden camera because it'll flash back at me. Women are buying these like crazy. When they go to a hotel, they want to make sure that they're not being watched. When they go to a dressing room, they want to make sure they're not being watched. So it's kind of an interesting little tool.
Being a PI has changed a lot, but with the right gear, a toolkit that's easier to buy and more affordable than ever, a good PI can now always be ready. But it turns out the gear isn't the point, or at least not the only point. Jimmy can blend in, be cool, and stay patient in an unmarked white van. I can't do any of those things well, and I can't legally do most of them at all.
I can show you everything that you've seen here, and in another month, I could use all this equipment on you, and you'd never see it.
I believe it.
Because your mind is just not set up to think that you're being watched that way.
That's why I got nothing from Sam, why I still don't own sweet Air Jordans. But hey, at least I found a place to get dollar tacos in New York City. I'll call it even.